Police are apologizing after confirming a photo was taken of an intoxicated man while he was being attended to by paramedics and police. Over the weekend, a photo taken of this interaction went viral and drew criticism. The CBC's Stephanie Cram reports.
Earlier this week, Winnipeg police asked Winnipeggers not to jump to conclusions about a photo that drew backlash on social media. It showed police and paramedics gathered around attending to an intoxicated man. One of the paramedics was smiling while sitting next to the man, whose head was resting on his shoulder. The person who took the photo told CBC News the female officer took a photo of them. Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service said at the time that the person was treated with respect and dignity, but now Winnipeg police are apologizing.
I want to confirm that our investigation has concluded that a cell phone was used by one of the police officers to take a photo at the scene. We apologize to this individual. We know the citizens of Winnipeg expect us to treat everyone with dignity and respect, and they deserve nothing less.
Constable Rob Carver says that the man in the photo has been apologized to, but will not be identified. Delaney Ducharme's boyfriend, Justin Highway, took the photo as they were driving by. She says that an apology is not enough.
A simple sorry, although it's appreciated and nice to be acknowledged for this man and their wrongdoing, I don't think sorry is enough, and I would hope that whatever disciplinary action she can face, she should face.
William Jewett has been homeless for over a year and currently lives at the Salvation Army. He has seen firsthand police treating homeless people with disrespect.
And I think even across Canada, police are the same. Some will treat you with respect and other ones, they just don't care. And, why be in that profession?
Police are not saying why the photo was taken and did not specify what disciplinary measures will be taken. Stephanie Cram, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, during the Second World War, there were all kinds of shortages in Canada: food, fuel, and even teachers. But there was no shortage of students, and their educational needs had to be met. The answer was what they called permit teachers. And CBC's Stephanie Cram took a look back with some of them today.
It has my name, David Halstead. Christmas, she wrote 1948, but it should have been 1947. And then signed, Margaret Menzies.
David Halstead has held on to a tiny print for over 70 years. It was given to him by his grade 2 teacher, Margaret Menzies. She was a permit teacher, which was a program used to recruit teachers during World War II straight from high school classrooms. One of 46 students in the class, Halstead explains why he held on to the photo all these years.
It's the only gift a teacher ever gave me, but also I think the significance was that she had found the money somewhere to buy the kids a little gift, and that really said something about her.
Today, some of those teachers met for a reunion at the Viscount Gore Hotel. This will be their last one.
Well, we're celebrating let's say all the things that these permit teachers did in the last 45, 50, 60, 70 years to keep education going strong in Manitoba.
Wally Stoyko was recruited after World War II.
So I'm a grade 11 student, and in 6 weeks they transformed me into a school teacher. And my job was easy. All I had to do was teach about 9, 10 grades, all the subjects, in one room. I was the caretaker, I did everything else, and I enjoyed it because I didn't know any better.
At the age of 17, it was a lot of responsibility, but he says the families and children were understanding.
We didn't approach our students like we knew everything. We learned with our students. We said, let's figure this out together.
We did not take the daily paper. We couldn't afford it. I had come through the Depression, and so my knowledge about what was going on out there wasn't that great.
Ann Yan Chishin started teaching during the war at a small school in Silver, a community 8 kilometers outside of Arberg.
I'd go home for lunch every noon hour, and I'd turn on the Happy Gang, they were on, and then the news. And I remember distinctly when the war ended, they announced it. I kept a scrapbook, I still have that scrapbook.
For Halstead, a tiny print will continue to hold fond memories of a high school teen who became his teacher. Stephanie Cram, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg Police's Air One helicopter first took to the skies in 2011 and is now the center of a new report looking at how valuable it is to the city. The CBC's Stephanie Cram reports.
A report released today by Winnipeg Police looks at the operations of the Air One helicopter between 2011 and 2017. The report says that there is a value in the helicopter and that Winnipeggers agree that it increases their sense of security.
Feeling safe is an important thing for us to know in our community. We like to know if people feel safe by the actions of what's going on. And it's our job then to go back and say, what are we tangibly doing to contribute to public safety overall?
The external review of Winnipeg's police helicopter was conducted by Myers Norris Penny. According to the report, more than 2,400 people were surveyed, roughly 1,800 online and 600 people by phone. The report states that 73% of people questioned over the phone said the presence of the helicopter increased their sense of safety and security. Online, that number dropped to 56%.
Overall, what does that mean in the sense of what's the true number? Well, it's somewhere in between there.
The report also surveyed Winnipeg police officers as part of the review. Molly McCracken is with the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives. She says the presence of the police helicopter doesn't increase the sense of security for everyone in the city.
And I live in downtown and work in downtown, and we do also the State of the Inner City report every year. And people feel surveyed by the helicopter. It feels intrusive, it's noisy, and we know that policing has an effect on racialized communities.
The report did not provide a cost analysis of the use of the helicopter. McCracken believes that many Winnipeggers are resentful by how much money is being spent on the helicopter when community centres are closing. The review says annual operating costs of the unit have ranged from around $1.3 million in 2012 to roughly $1.9 million in 2016. The report suggests there might be value in adding a second helicopter, but Deputy Chief Gord Perrier would not say whether Winnipeg Police will be investing in another anytime soon. Stephanie Cram, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A homeless man from Ontario is walking across the country with his dog in tow. He's trying to raise awareness of the lack of shelter options for homeless people who have pets. CBC's Stephanie Cram caught up with him in Steinbach.
September 2016, James Cahill started what might be the longest dog walk ever. Starting off from St. Catharines, he plans to walk all the way to Vancouver with his dog, Muck. The duo is walking to raise awareness of the lack of homeless shelters that accept pets. He's taking a pit stop in Steinbach, living in a tent in his friend's yard.
When I first lost the roof over my head, my worker told me I had to go into a homeless shelter and I had to give up my dog if I wanted to keep my benefits. And that's when I discovered that in 2016, there was absolutely not one homeless shelter in this entire country that would take pets. And so I started it just basically as awareness.
Cahill originally set out on his walk with Muckwa, but she died late last year of cancer. Not wanting to give up, Cahill adopted a new dog and named him Muck in memory of his first. While coping with the death of Muckwa, Cahill's friend took him to an animal shelter in Aurora, Ontario.
I go in the back, and what's the first face I see? Like a lightning bolt to my heart. Now Muck was not supposed to be there. What he was, he came from Manitoba, that's the irony. I love it, yeah. He Northern Malamute Rescue. He was a sled dog that didn't make the team. So this was meant to be. This basically saved my road trip because I was so devastated. So he's filling in for her, and he's filling in the hole in my heart.
And Cahill says the reason he travels with a dog in tow is simple: companionship and purpose.
A reason to get up in the morning and a reason to keep going, like to keep going with life, right? You've got a little fur ball that depends on you. So you have to suck it up to, You can't be selfish and just give up on life because you've got somebody that depends on you.
Here in Winnipeg, shelters do not allow dogs. Kathy Neal from Siloam Mission says the main reason for the restriction is the safety of the residents.
We actually don't have the capacity here to allow animals into the shelter, and that's really only because, again, it is dorm style. So we have to be cognizant of other people's health and safety. They may have conditions such as allergies and that sort of thing. So first and foremost, we need to make sure that people who come to Siloam are safe and secure.
Cahill plans to leave Steinbach in a couple of days and says the entire trip to Vancouver will take him another 3 years. Stephanie Cram, CBC News, Steinbach.